In the recent weeks, I have been all over to work on assignments, either with my job or on a shoot with my independent documentary. So I thought that I would take you with me. As a filmmaker with a full-time job, it can be kind of hard to manage my time. Luckily, I have a supportive partner, but still, sometimes I think that we can take for granted that we're able to do the creative work that we do because we have our loved ones in our corner. In Florida, I worked on an assignment covering a wastewater treatment mechanic who worked on the front lines of Hurricane Milton in 2024. Coming from Philadelphia, the weather in Tampa was lovely. Here I tried to get B-roll of the water to establish location. The shoot went well. Our interviewee was lovely. I used a Canon C70 and a C100 Mark II on this shoot. I personally love both of these cameras so much, and especially the C100 for its feel. But whenever I'm not color grading by myself and just hand over the footage to someone else, I get a little bit nervous about the C-Log1 file. I think I am going to save up for a C300 Mark III in the next year so that I can have the consistent C-Log2 footage. I'm not the most tech-focused person, but I do like tech, so I'm going to include what I use in here because I love that kind of stuff. And I know that you all on YouTube love that kind of stuff too. A few days later, I left to go to New York. I drove, which is never a good idea in New York, but I had to bring gear with me. So here I am trying to set up. We had 2 doc interviews to do while here. For both of these, I believe I really only used one key light, and that seemed to do the trick. Both of the interviews went great. I'm looking forward to the day when I get to share with you all the projects that I'm working on. I also started trying to show you what I do in a day between shoots, but actually it seems my days are really repetitive. I have a pretty set routine. In the morning, I go get coffee. I do a little bit of work on my documentary or creative projects, or sometimes I read. Then I get started with my actual work day, and usually it gets pretty busy, so I'm just plugging away. Sometimes in the evening, I get to play volleyball, which is typically my favorite part of the day. Of course, in between, it's stuff like chores, taking the dog on a walk, spending time with my spouse. I was in DC for a work event at the Capitol. And as many of you in the United States may know, one of the things that happened in the recent months is that Congress proposed to slash funding for critical social safety net programs and public services, including affordable healthcare. This means that so many would lose their healthcare and their livelihoods. So, people came out and made their voices heard. And I was tasked with taking photos of the event and doing a few interviews on the fly. For photos, I used my Canon 6D. There's just something about the weight of them combined with the optical viewfinder and the sound of the shutter that I just love. And then for videos, I'm using a Lumix S9 and the 20 to 60mm lens. It's newish in my rotation as of the last 6 months, and I actually really love it. And while I'm out here, let me just tell you about my experiences out in the field with my camera. I find that most photographers, videographers, DPs, whatever that I meet in the field tend to be women. It's so interesting that on YouTube there are so many guys who talk about cameras, but in real life I mostly run into women working with cameras. Can somebody tell me why that is? Here I am offloading some of the photos I took so that our social media team working remotely can access them right away. This is my first vlog, but I'm hoping for more to come. I'm using the DJI Action 4 for most of this footage. I'm really excited about this tiny thing, and it's the first vlogging device that I'm actually able to use practically during my days. So that's it. Thanks for coming with me on my work trips.